What's going on, guys? It's Jeff here. I just got back from my second long water fast in Costa Rica. And it's been the second fast that I did this year. I did another one 10 months ago. If you've been following my journey, you'll see that that one for me was really brutal. It was life-changing, extremely life-changing, but it was really difficult. And for my first, over like 4 or 5 day fast, it was in a lot of ways brutal. And very difficult during the fast. And so just to cut to the chase, this fast was so much easier. I was able to go again 19 days. So now I've done 2 fasts for 19 days. And I paid for 21 days of fasting. I was gonna try to go 26 days if I could, but I had to break my fast a little bit early. So basically what happened with this fast was for basically the first like 9 days, it was like pretty dang easy. I didn't really feel anything too significant, For the first 5 days, I felt pretty much totally fine. I was feeling great, I was definitely starting to feel like I was detoxing around day 3 or 4 for sure, but nothing too significant, nothing that I hadn't experienced, like really just with juice feasting. Just like mild, weird kind of like, not even a headache, but just heaviness in the mornings. And that's pretty much it. I was starting to get a little bit tired. And that's pretty much it. And so probably around day 5, 6, 7-ish, then I definitely started to feel like I was detoxing. I started to smell a little bit. I was starting to have some of the candida come out through my tongue. My tongue was starting to turn white. I was getting a little bit bloated around day 6, especially like midway through the day, which, somebody who's had just disgustingly digestive upset, really bad digestion for like probably 10 years now. This wasn't that big of a deal. And I understand that when you fast, the key is to sip water. The importance of that is to rehydrate your body and your tissues, and also the mucoid hardened plaque material that's in your colon. And yes, during the first fast, I released a lot of this stuff, probably in between 5 and 8 pounds of hard plaque, whatever you want to call it, hardened waste that had been stuck in my body for a long time. And so during this fast, I knew that I still had some of that stuff in me, just the years and years of terrible eating and just living in a toxic chemical environment. I knew I still have more stuff in my body. Definitely waste throughout my tissues and my glands, but for sure more mucoid plaque or hardened material in my intestines. And so once I started getting into that like 5 day zone, I started to feel it. I was starting to get bloated like halfway through the day as this old stuff is starting to get rehydrated and starting to move down into like placement to get pooped out. So basically around like day 9. I was like, oh, okay, yep, starting to feel heavy, really heavy in the morning. So here's kind of what happens. When you water fast, you're only drinking water, you're not eating, and you're sipping water throughout the day. And what this does is it gives your body a very easy time to just absorb that water, so you're not chugging water, you're not over pumping your stomach full of water to where it just has to be peed out through your kidneys. And this can be dangerous because if you drink too much water too fast, there's only one way to get electrolytes, and that's through food. And so when you enter a fast, you have to have a good electrolyte level. And if you drink too much water or you get too much sunlight, you start to sweat, and you can actually pee out your electrolytes, and that can be dangerous, and you'd have to break your fast early. So I'm religious about sipping water no more than half a liter an hour, and I was drinking roughly 5.5 liters a day. And so, when you go to sleep at night, what happens? You obviously stop drinking water. So when you wake up the next morning, if you're sleeping, which I was sleeping pretty decent for most of the fast compared to how I was sleeping in my first fast. And so when you wake up in the morning, you feel like you feel heavy, like for sure, because you're dehydrated, and then, you feel either headaches or nausea, or just all of your symptoms are way worse in the morning because you're not hydrating yourself, you're sleeping. And so around day 9, I started feeling pretty heavy, was stinking really bad, was having some pretty funky smells, My pee was starting to be very concentrated and very dark, and it was starting to smell really bad too. But again, mostly I was okay. I was totally fine to walk, you know. And to go back, I started this fast 12 pounds heavier than I started my fast last year. I'm 6'2", 37 years young, and I weighed 140 pounds when I started this fast, which is still about 25 pounds lighter than my typical weight before I started getting sick, and I was in like really good surf shape and very athletically active, you know, a very active human every single day, pretty much. And so my first fast, I started fasting at 128 pounds. And when I broke that fast, I was 112. And so when I broke this fast, I weighed 124. So pretty much the same weight loss, about 18-ish pounds, you know, a little less, 16-ish. And so I was already in a much better place. And I also spent the last 9 months in a much healthier place, because for those of you guys who don't know, I severely broke my leg 2 years ago now. And when I went, you know, when I started my fast last year, I had been doing so much juicing. I hadn't really moved much. I had been doing a little bit of therapy and rehab for sure, but I was barely moving, you know. I was like not really running much. And so I was very weak, you know. I had been pretty much bedridden for like a year, just through 4 surgeries, you know, barely being able to exercise or move much. I was very weak and skinny and fragile, and yeah, and I was still having digestive issues and just kind of in a weird place when I did my first fast. I'd just gotten out of a breakup, was going through a lot of emotional challenges, I guess you could say. And in some ways I was totally functioning. I was fine, I was working and stuff, but just, you know, as far as like a 100% healed person, I was not there, you know. And so the second fast, around day 9, I started feeling heavy, and then every single day after that, it just started getting heavier and heavier, but still like totally fine, like not a big deal. Like obviously you're like just sitting there all day, kind of chilling in the jungle around. I was with 30 other people. We were all fasting together, and it was cool, you know. There were some like sore thumbs in the group that were, energy was off, to put it mildly, and then there was a lot of other people that the energy was great, and I made a lot of great connections, a lot of beautiful lifelong partnerships and souls that, you know, I will have this experience with together for the rest of my life, again for the second time this year. Just such beautiful other people committed to healing themselves through this journey of nature, you know, the most natural form of cleansing your body of toxic waste and poison and, you know, just everything we've been destroying our bodies with throughout the course of our lives, and from our parents and their parents and their parents, and through tons of generations of degeneration, you know. So trying to stay chill, trying to stay simple and quiet. I would keep my talking very limited. Some days I didn't feel like talking very much. I think there was a couple days where I barely even talked, mostly just to conserve my energy. And most of the time during the fast, I was really just sitting and laying on the couch, laying in a couch, a little bit of hammock, or in my room in bed. I didn't even read at all. I didn't really watch any TV. Every Wednesday, you know, we have a movie night. We watch some, just a really chill movie for like an hour and a half, and then everybody goes to sleep. And so, you know, mostly this fast was just, I felt like I was functional. I could have gone and ran errands, gone to the grocery store, you know, done whatever, but I was definitely feeling heavy, and I didn't have a ton of energy for sure, but I was okay. I was functional compared to the fast, you know, the first one that I did last year, 10 months ago now, which I was just dead. My blood sugar crashed on day 2 into the 20s. It stayed like that for 9 days. I couldn't walk. I had to have like a walker and a cane. Had to get my room moved to next to the lobby so I could do vitals and not have to walk more than 10 feet because I couldn't really walk anymore. Yeah, so much different fast already. This proved what I had been saying and teaching and preaching all along, is that you got to keep cleaning your body out until it gets clean, and you should be able to comfortably fast for, I would say, at least 7 days without feeling like you're detoxing. Because when you have enough muscle and fat on your body, you can comfortably fast for a pretty long time, and you're not detoxing. Your body starts to eat its own fat as the fuel reserves instead of cleansing and detoxing. And so during my first fast, I was obviously detoxing like crazy, you know, just like so much stuff coming out of me, just cigarettes and cocaine and just all these heavy metals and tons of sulfur coming out. And then the second fast, it was a lot different. I didn't have the same, you know, definitely no cocaine, no cigarette smell. I was definitely smelling terrible for several days, but it wasn't really that bad, you know. And so my long-term goal is to be able to fast until I feel fine, you know, and I'm getting closer for sure. But some of the things that happened during this fast is, you know, the first like 2-3 nights I got so much sleep, like 8 hours, I felt amazing. And then after that it kind of dropped off. My sleep wasn't that great. I was having a hard time falling asleep at night. And it was overall just kind of up and down, but nothing too significant, you know. I was able to keep drinking enough water. Obviously, during the days that continue, it gets harder to drink enough water as you start to rehydrate, you know, more of this material in your intestines. And you know, around day 5 to like 8, your body really starts to dump toxins out. As your body goes through this search for fuel, it uses your tissue, it eats up toxins, it eats up old waste material and heavy metals, and it starts to pump all this foreign matter out and find fuel sources. So, you know, because obviously our bodies need sugar to run, to operate, to have energy, so it starts eating up muscle to convert it into glucose. You know, once you hit ketosis, once you go into the mode of ketosis, which happens in between day 3-4-ish, your body just really starts to dump toxins out because you're not having to spend any digestive energy on digesting food, or you're not having to spend any of the energy in your body on digesting. Now it's just eliminating waste pretty much. And so yeah, you start to feel it. But you know, around like day 9, day 10, then I was like, okay, you know, I'm getting heavier, having kind of a little bit harder time walking up to the lobby in the morning. Other than that, I felt okay. I was doing enemas. You can go watch my worst night ever video on my page about what happened to me with my bowel movements during my first fast. So I made it a mission I was like, I'm gonna do an enema to, you know, at day 7 to clear out whatever my last meals were. I'm gonna do another enema on day 14 just to see if there's anything else that's kind of lingering. And then I'm gonna do an enema when I need to take my first bowel movement, typically around day 3 after you start refeeding. And so I made sure to clean my colon out this time just so I didn't have any prolapse rectum, anus like I did the last time. You know, that's a whole nother world, another tragic story. So I was doing enemas, and that was actually making me feel a lot better. My bloating wasn't as bad, and I didn't really feel like I had to poop at all, so that was nice. But then around I don't know, I'd say day 15, day 16, I started getting lethargic, which I hadn't really experienced that on my first fast. And everybody who's done tons of fasting or multiple long fasts says that every fast is quite different. You never really know what to expect. And so I was like pretty thankful that my blood sugar didn't crash, because I've got a pretty tragic DNA line, you know. To be gentle, my family's not healthy. My mom, my dad, and my sister are super overweight and obese and have tons of health issues. My dad was very diabetic, lots of diabetes run in the family, breast cancer. My mom's got, you know, like just so many health issues. My sister does too. So obviously I got very sick also. So we got a lot of cleansing to do, a lot of family history of terrible eating, weak genes, weak genetics, so on. So I'm working with a tough case here. I need some fasting. So anyway, start getting in there around day 16. I'm getting lethargic. I'm having a really tough time getting water down now. I'm dry heaving a bit. I puked a little bit a couple times, a little bit of bile, which isn't really typically a big deal. If you start puking a lot, you can definitely get yourself into some dangerous territory. You might need to break your fast, but as long as you're not puking up too much and losing electrolytes, it's almost a good thing. Let your body puke up what it needs to. If there's things in there that need to come out, I'm a huge fan of just allowing the process to happen and monitoring everything. And so, you know, I'm at like the world's largest water-only fasting clinic. We're taking vitals every day. We're monitoring our symptoms. And by now I've read almost every single book on water fasting. I've done it multiple short fasts, but now I have one long water fast under my belt, plus all the knowledge from the volunteers and the people that I've learned from. I know quite a bit about fasting now to kind of like monitor symptoms on my own. I wanted to be there, to be in the environment of the tropics, away from internet, TV, cell phones, and just distractions, feeling safe, you know, being provided with great quality spring water. So I don't really have to do anything. I just focus on relaxing and resting the whole time to give my body plenty of energy to just chill and detox, you know, and cleanse and repair my soul, you know, my soul and my body. And so, yeah, I started getting lethargic around day 17, 18. I started getting razor blades in my throat, you know, and this was like, there was another dude named Jeff there who he was puking a lot too. You know, he was fast. I think he was at day 33 when this started happening to him, and he started puking a lot, and he ended up having to go to the hospital because when he did break his fast, he wasn't able to keep anything down. And so I was, you know, being the same name Jeff, I'm starting to puke and get lethargic. I'm just like, man, I really don't want to go to the hospital. Like last fast, I almost had to go to the hospital for my rectum. This fast, you know, like, I just wanted to play it safe. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep going until I can't drink water anymore, really. And so day 18, I was having a really tough time. When I got like 3 liters of water in, I was having to drink like bubbly water, you know, like carbonated water, like every 3rd glass just to help with the nausea. And then, you know, I was feeling really heavy by then in the morning, starting to smell like crap. I hadn't showered in a week just to conserve my energy, because when you take a hot shower, it takes a lot of energy out of you, you know. And so you want to do everything you can to just lay there as much as possible and rest. Close your eyes a lot. I wasn't really talking to many people anymore. And I was trying to just connect with myself as much as I could, which was hard. It's very hard to go inward, for considering that you're also fasting and detoxing. Imagine eating and then just trying to like chill and rest and just lay in the jungle on a couch. Probably not too difficult. You'll go through some mental challenges, but then imagine detoxing plus trying to turn off your brain from being stimulated 24 hours a day. So, you know, it's hard. It's very difficult. And so, you know, basically, day 18 was like, I don't know, man, it's getting hard, very hard. I was not wanting to break my fast. Like, I want to keep going. And so I was like, I'm gonna wake up on day 19, see how I feel. Day 19 hits, I barely even slept, didn't sleep much, dry heaved all night. It was like, fuck man, this, you know, pardon my French, this is terrible, dude. I want to keep going. I've got enough weight on me to go at least 2 more weeks, you know, at least. I can go down into, you know, like hundreds. I don't want to go that low, but I would if I felt like I could keep fasting. Because whenever you lose too much weight through a fast, it just takes a lot longer to rebuild and put the weight back on, which obviously being a skinny dude for the past several years now, I'm comfortable with it. I don't love being skinny by any means. This isn't my goal weight. I'm skinny, you know. In a lot of ways it sucks, and that's why I'm fasting. I'm trying to heal myself so I can digest better, absorb better, and process the nutrition that I'm eating appropriately so I put a healthy weight back on. And so morning of day 19, I'm like, dude, I can't even swallow. I didn't sleep, razor blades. I barely even got half a glass in the day before, like that night. And I was just like, I can't do it. I have to break my fast now. So I woke up and I went and broke my fast, did coconut water for the first full day. I think it's like 4 ounces of coconut water every 2 hours or so, like 6 times for the first day. And I started feeling like way better, you know, pretty much immediately. I was still dry heaving a bit, and I was still nauseous as hell, but I was starting to get a little bit of energy. My head wasn't as hurting that, but my head was not hurting as bad as it was. And I was starting to come out of the hardcore detox. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the gist of the fast. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I wasn't like, yo, you guys, during the first fast, like I just went through a breakup, which, you know, was very tough for me. Me and Cozy had been together for a long time, and we decided to, actually we hadn't broken up quite yet, but just things were on the rocks, you know. She had moved out. We were just not in a great place. So I was all over the place emotionally. Half from that, and half just going through the motions and reliving everything I had been through tragically for the past like 8 years, you know, trying to like find my balance in my health and not having digestive issues and depression and just all these other issues, adrenal imbalances that have been going on with me since I got chronically sick. And so it was a very emotional time, the first one, and I cried like 5 times a day the whole time. The week before I went and fasted, I cried every day. When I got home, I cried almost every day for like 2-3 months. And rebuilding after the first fast I did this year, it took a long time. It took 4 months to gain a pound, so very tough. So emotionally, I was fine during this fast. Like I didn't cry at all. I didn't have many emotions coming out of me, which I thought was kind of weird. I thought I would get emotional because, like on the outside I might seem like confident and tough, and manly, but at the end of the day, like I'm a mushy little baby that's got, a very sensitive place to myself, just like a lot of people who don't want to show it. I want to keep my stamina and my manlyhood present, and not let my guard down. But as you get older, as you go through this deep cleanse and healing journey, you recognize that we all have a feminine, sensitive side, and it's a beautiful thing to allow it to come out. And in order to really get to a better place with your soul, with your spirit, with your conscience, with your conscience, you kind of got to let your guard down and be vulnerable. And so I learned a lot about vulnerability during my first one, and so it was just weird not to be super sensitive in this one. It was mostly just my body, not too much of my mind, which I was hoping that if I did still have anything lingering emotionally, I could cleanse this out and cry it out, but I didn't. I didn't cry once. I was like fine pretty much. And then so yeah, I broke my fast. Day 2, I felt a lot better. I still hadn't had a bowel movement. Day 3, you guys, I woke up, ate breakfast, felt pretty good. I had been moving around a bit on day 2, still just resting mostly. And then on day 3, after my second meal, like lunchtime around noon, I was like, dude, I feel awesome, like super good. And so I went and was playing Frisbee, was running, was jumping on the trampoline. There was a bunch of other people that had already broken their fast like several days, if not weeks before me. So, I had only lost, 18 pounds or 16 pounds or something. So I wasn't that weak. I was totally walking around, totally fine. And to be playing Frisbee with my shirt off, like getting the sun again, like doing push-ups and squats and, I think I was like barely doing a pull-up. I felt pretty dang good. It was like, damn, this is awesome. I fasted for the same amount of time, and now I feel a lot better after breaking my fast, almost like I rebounded just shabam, just quick. Like, wow, okay, I've healed a lot of the things throughout the first fast. And so day 3, I was like, okay, I got a bowel movement coming. And I was like, if I get to that point where I'm going to have a bowel movement, just so if anything hasn't healed in my rectum throughout the past 9 months, I don't want to push it again, So I chose to do an enema the night of day 3 refeeding. And I had a bunch of hard masses, which were plaque. It was hardened material because I had already done enemas to get out, the food from my last meals. And so I probably, pooped out a chunk like that big on my first bowel movement, which, I held an enema in for about 30 minutes to loosen it up so it would come out smoother. And then I pooped a bunch of, like new food out in between all this old stuff. And then I went back and did another enema because another big old chunk, probably like that big on the second one, like that's a bunch of like plaque and hardened stuff. And I was looking at it. I was smelling it. It smelled really old and funky, like it had been in there for decades. So I did another enema, released a bunch more. And then after that, those were the main hard chunks. And I started flowing like the papaya and the watermelon that I had been eating the first, previous few meals. It was coming out now. So that was great. And then pretty much from there, like I felt pretty good. My digestion was like way better than it was when I broke my fast the first time. Digestion's still not great by any means. I'm not perfect digestion, like still getting bloated and stuff, but way better than the first fast. And so probably around like day 7, I was like, dude, I'm like recovering so fast, like working out like an hour or 2 a day almost, like yoga, stretching, running, playing Frisbee. I think on like day 6 or 7, me and like 3 other dudes, we grabbed some of the mountain bikes and left the fasting place and just went super far. Like, we went way too far down these roads For one, the meal that we had just eaten was some mangoes, and most of the meals we had were awesome. The fruit quality was great, ripe, picked pretty dang good. And being a fruitarian basically for like 5 years now, I'm very picky with my food, just like anybody would be who is accustomed to eating great food. You want it to be perfect. And so the mangoes we had were horrible for that previous meal, and I was still kind of hungry. So we grabbed some mountain bikes and just rode all the way down these big old hills in the middle of this beautiful jungle. Like, it was like farmland, some palm trees, like fruit trees, kind of like a lot of like mango trees. A lot of them were unripe, but just, I'd say probably like, I don't know, 4 miles, which for somebody who's just starting to walk again after just sitting on a couch for 3 weeks, it was probably way too much. So we went way too far. It was just so beautiful, bombing these huge hills, climbing up them, barely making it up, and then just being like, let's go over to the next one. Then I was like, yo guys, I don't think we should keep going. We should chill out. And then I spotted this dope mango tree, and it was ripe. It looked kind of like these Altaufo mangoes, which actually we got some right here. It looked kind of like these guys, like a mix between the Altaufo, the Mexican Altaufo, and Manila. And I was like, yo, these things are booming. They were in this like little ravine, all these like fresh mangoes had just fallen off. So me and my 3 buddies, we pick them up off the ground and we start eating them. And some of them tasted like really bad, but some of them tasted really good. So we had some mangoes and then ended up going back. And yeah, so like the way back I was very weak, and it took us a long time. We were like, man, that was a terrible idea. We went way too far. The next day I could my legs were shaky, but yeah, pretty much it was like I rebounded super fast. And here we are 3 weeks post fast. I feel really good. There has been some ups and downs. Obviously every day isn't perfect, and I still do need a lot of rest. One of the main things that kind of the first week and a half, 2 weeks is that after you are on water for so long, you start eating again. It takes a lot of energy out of your body to process food and to break it down and convert everything into nutrients and deliver it to the places in the body it needs to. And so I was needing to take a nap after like my second or third meal. I was kind of starting to crash a bit. But that has balanced out now. My digestion is not great. But way better than it was after I broke my fast last year. I am still getting a little bit bloated. I feel like I didn't get all the plaque out. I don't think I fasted long enough. I don't think I was drinking enough water. My vitals, weren't as great as they should be, which kind of showed that I was kind of dehydrated throughout the fast. But I was just nauseous, so I couldn't really drink more water. So anyway, right now my digestion is like, it's mediocre, it's pretty good. Most of the day I feel good. If I do only fruit, I'm like pretty much fine, but I've been doing salads. The leafy greens are finally starting to digest a little bit. They kind of cut me up and made me hurt the handful of times I tried to do like even soft romaine. And so finally I'm digesting them now. It comes out like pretty digested. And I'm not doing super great with fats, but I did try doing fats and avocado in a salad on my 7th day of refeeding, and it just like wrecked me. The next morning I felt terrible, was really bloated, having a hard time like eating anything. And so I have been eating fats for like 2 weeks now. I did 7 days of 1 avocado a day with a dinner salad, and it made me feel tired when I'd wake up the next morning, and I started getting bumps. Not that I'm getting acne or skin on my face or anything, but starting to get little bumps. My skin's not great, so I've pulled back on the fats for the past 4 days. My skin's starting to feel better. I'm having more energy during the day. One little funky thing that happened was, I think day 8 or 9, day 9, when I left Tanglewood, when I left the fasting center, I went and got a hotel in San Jose the day before I was going to fly back home. And I found on the way there, an awesome fruit stand. And I got a bunch of granadillas, which is basically like a very sweet passion fruit. And what's in it is like these seeds with some jelly, and they're really good and they're kind of crunchy. And I ate like 5 huge ones, which was kind of stupid. I knew that I needed to just stick to soft fruit for like at least a few weeks, if not a couple months. But these things were just so good, and I chugged them all. Then the next day I felt pretty much okay until like my 2nd or 3rd meal. And then when I was coming on the airplane home, I was like, man, whatever I just ate is like it's not moving through very well. So got home to Mexico, out of the airport, ended up throwing up in the airport bathroom. Like it just wasn't going down. Whatever that passion fruit, you know, granadilla seeds were, they weren't like really digesting super good. Go figure. And so took a taxi home and felt so bad. Had to walk like 2 miles to my house from like where the taxi dropped me off, and I was like, oh my God, I got to throw up. And so I puked a few times that night. You know, it's kind of stupid. I should have known, just take the transition back into the food more gentle. You know, most people would probably be fine, but me coming out of just severe digestive issues, which when I eat fruit, I feel mostly pretty damn good if it's like soft. Even cucumbers and like lettuce, I was feeling fine before the fast, and I could have done passion fruit before the fast, but this one, it just didn't go down. So puked all night. Next morning, woke up feeling great, felt totally fine, and then, yeah, pretty much felt fine. And so, you know, right now I've put back on a couple pounds since my fast, but I feel like super good and strong. Obviously, you guys, I know I'm thin. I still have at least 35, 40 pounds more weight to gain until I'm like reaching my goal weight. But with breaking my leg and fasting and doing a lot of juicing like a couple years ago, like it's taken me a while to build back, you know, to build back better. Don't ever say that phrase. I hate that, dude. But yeah, you know, so I'm at a really good place now. I'm going to the gym like two hours a day, partially rehabbing, and then just other parts, just strength training, a lot of heavy weights, a bit of cardio. And I'm feeling so strong. I can totally run like almost full sprint. And my flexibility is a lot better. My body is a lot more hydrated. My skin is like not near as good as it was for as long as it was last time after I broke my fast. I'm noticing my skin's it's just not as baby-like as it was, you know, when I broke my fast last year. For like 2-3 months, my skin was like pristine, you know, just like I couldn't stop touching myself. It was just like so soft, you know, like so much more rehydrated. And so other than that, like, you know, I feel great now. I feel like I never even fasted in many ways. I don't feel like I even need to rebound. I feel like I'm exactly where I was pretty much when I went into fast, minus I'm definitely like weaker for sure. Like I can't really do many push-ups anymore, but I'm bouncing back quick and my energy levels are like there, and I'm feeling really good. So that's pretty much it. You know, I've learned a lot about myself and fasting and just the process of cleaning out years and years of deposits of eating crappy food. My diet growing up was fast food, soda, 3 to 4 sodas a day, half a gallon of milk, fried this, fried that, candy, so much candy, and donuts and danishes and fried chicken, and just canned foods and ramen noodles. And I didn't have money growing up, you know. We didn't eat the greatest diet. My parents didn't know anything about nutrition. They would just be like, what do you want to eat? Go eat it. You know, you want a Nutty Bar or some Swiss cake rolls? Like, sure, whatever you need. Pop-Tarts for dinner, who cares? And so I grew up just eating really bad, and then I did a lot of drugs, drank every day, wasted for 10 years throughout my early adulthood, you know, just partying every night, working my butt off during the day, just very passionate, motivated individual. But then at night, I liked to party. I was very motivated to party, you know, go out and have fun, pick up girls, and just dance and just get into stupid things, you know. And so just cleansing the years of this terrible stuff out of my body, it's been, you know, taking a long time. So and I've learned a lot. You know, a lot of people don't understand how long it can take to cleanse previous generations' weaknesses and toxic buildups out of our body, plus all the toxins that were inherited through our mother, the genetic weaknesses, and then also just from birth we're put these things, which are just the worst toxic-laden, poisonous vials of things that you can put in your body. We're given those at birth, and then we're fed processed food, dehydrated, cooked crap for breakfast, lunch, and dinner our whole lives. So we expect to not get super sick and diseased. Of course we're going to get chronic health issues, and it's going to be hard to heal ourselves. And so somebody who is genetically stronger than me would probably have a much easier time cleansing, you know, healing from cancer or Crohn's or MS or Parkinson's, which Parkinson's is tough, you know. But healing these chronic health issues, which are usually detoxable if your body's not too far gone. But with my genetic weaknesses, it's been a long journey for me. You know, I've been just raw vegan for almost 5 years, and it's taken me a lot of fasting and juicing, hundreds of days juicing, 90 days, 30, like 30 days, and then just the simple fruit-based diet for so long. And a lot of people are thinking, you know, it's the people who don't research and study fasting that all say you're fasting too much, you're detoxing too much, you know, that's why you're so weak and you're in a constant state of detox. It's like, I'm not even going to argue with you because you don't understand what fasting is. You don't understand the process of rebuilding and detoxing. And I eat a lot, so people think that I'm skinny because I don't eat or I have like an eating disorder. It's like the furthest thing from the truth. I eat tons of food, you know, and that's not the reason I still have health issues, which are barely even noticeable most of the time. I'm just trying to get my place to like 100% which I'm not. You know, most of my symptoms are completely gone. But a lot of people flip-flop their diet. They don't really understand like true detoxification and regeneration. And so it's like you're going to have people in the raw vegan community who try juicing for a couple weeks, go on a 2-3 week juice feast, and try a complex dehydrated food, 25 million ingredient raw vegan salad with cashew butter every night, and they don't get the results they're looking for, and then so they go back to eating meat or cooked food or something after like a year or two. You know, all these Instagram little influencer little honeys. It's like, dude, come on, man, that's a joke. You're trying to heal yourself and you don't feel great after 20 years of eating like crap? You think your microbiome is going to rebuild after 2 years of not even doing any deep detoxing? Good luck, it's not going to happen. So I understand it. I surrendered to the process. I've studied this for hardcore for 5 years, and everything I'm learning is happening with myself. And it's just taken me a bit longer than I would like, and then, you know, a bit longer than it would for other people maybe who have gotten amazing results with just juicing. You know, I do health coaching full time. Most of the people I work with are getting epic results, getting rid of most of, if not all of their health issues just with implementing daily juicing and the simple fruit-based diet. And, you know, when I take somebody that I'm working with through the transitional, you know, going from standard American diet to transitional vegan diet, plant-based, whole food, getting them started on juicing, you know, getting their bodies to slowly cleanse so they don't feel like crap, they can still go to work. Getting some people, you know, I do water fasting with some of my clients, I do juice feasting with some of my other clients, and most of the people I work with, and know, honestly, most of the people that I know who have been on the raw vegan journey long enough and have done a lot of work outside of water fasting, they end up healing themselves. And so in relatively short amount of time, within a couple years, you know, and it's just taken me longer. A lot of people with stage 4 cancer, takes a long time to get this waste out if your body isn't, you know, isn't in a great place. And so I've just been in this journey for so long, and here we are now. So yeah, I'm really into fasting. Obviously, I don't want to fast. It's not fun. Like, I'm not doing this because I want to be in a constant state of detoxing. I just want to heal myself. I want to get to the place of being a Kelly Slater style high endurance athlete all day, every day, until I'm 90 or 100 years old, and I'm still very weak and fragile, and I'm recovering now from the knee injury and now 2 water fasts this year. And so it's taken me a lot of work to like cleanse the poison out of my body, and it's still in there. And so, you know, what are my plans? What are my plans for the next several months, years? I'm going to do another water fast for sure. I'm not going to do one anytime soon. I'm going to wait at least a year or two to like put some healthy weight and muscle back on. I know for a fact in probably 3 or 4 months I'm going to be in really good shape to start surfing again. I'm moving to Asia. I'm leaving Mexico. I'm not going to say where yet because I don't want to, you know, give too much up, but I'm moving to Asia in September. I'm only here in Mexico for another couple months. And then by the time I move to where I'm going to Asia, I want to be able to surf really good, because it's kind of my #1 passion is to surf. You know, I used to be snowboard and surf, and kind of got over the snowboard scene is different. You know, lifestyle is cold and kind of sucks, you know, super hard work. I worked in snowboarding for a long time shooting photos, and it's just a much harder lifestyle. So I'm moving to the tropics in Asia where durian grows, where there's amazing waves, cheap living, tropical beautifulness, and I want to be in a good place, and I want to spend the next year really getting my body super strong, you know, putting at least 20, 30 pounds back on of muscle to where the point I'm not like fragile anymore. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with me now. I'm going to start I'm getting back into working, doing health coaching with my clients now, pretty much full time. And other than that, like, life is really good. I've got another trip planned for a week and a half. I'm actually which this is pretty cool, yo. Me and my mom connected for the first time in like 10 years, a few years back. I shared what's going on with me. She came and visited me. I hadn't seen her in over a decade. She came to visit me in December. You know, she's got major health issues, like very heavy set. Got her onto the plant food. She pretty much ate raw vegan for the whole week that she was here. Lost a bunch of weight, started feeling way better. She went home and I convinced her to go fast. That was the most important thing she could do. So I'm actually going to go fly to St. Louis in a couple weeks, pick her up, fly her to Costa Rica, drop her off, and she's going to try to do, probably, hopefully we'll succeed to do a 30-day water fast. She's got some major health issues, and so that's pretty exciting for me to like see her do that. So that's pretty cool. And then I'll come back here in a couple weeks, you know, hopefully find some yummy fruits. I'll stay in Costa Rica for probably like 5 days or a week and just kind of travel around. I'd love to meet up with my buddy and go surfing. And then I'm going to spend the next 2 months here just kind of rebuild myself again as much as I can. I'm really active now, like 2 hours a day, mandatory at the gym. First thing, boom, I wake up, I stretch, I do a little yoga, a little spiritualness, feed my cat, and then I go to the gym for like 2 hours, and then I'll go get some fruit, come back, work a bit, usually do another little session of reading, or I go tan naked on the roof. That's like a religious thing. I got awesome routine down right now. I tan naked every day. I go to the gym for at least an hour to 2 hours every day. I go get usually fruit every day for the day, which I'm really into doing that now. And then I work every day usually for at least a couple hours, sometimes a full day if not longer, doing phone calls and consults. Trying to get people healthy. You know, everybody wants to figure out how to get themselves healed, but they don't want to spend years learning about it. And it's like, perfect, hire me. I'll tell you what to do. We'll walk both of ourselves through your symptoms, find out what you need. And then, so yeah, I'm doing that. And then the next 2 months, I'm just going to spend rebuilding. And then eventually I'm going to start packing up my place here in Mexico, sell everything, drive back to California, which would be like a week drive. Sell my car, meet up with my buddies, and we're gonna move to Asia. My two best friends here, Jay and Gabrielle, we became like such good friends. I can't believe we've met and connected. They're like very new, within 1 year, kind of raw vegans. And they're very passionate about the lifestyle and just living clean and healthfully. And so we're gonna move to Asia together, probably September 1st, if this crazy fake bull crap on the mainstream news doesn't, you know, throw us into another planned thing, you know, I'm going to say, with the monkey thing and the forced things. I can't even really talk about it. I don't want to lose my channel. I got both of my Instagrams bumped. I even started a new Instagram. That one skyrocketed with followers in like a month, and then boom, that one got slapped with shadow banning after I talked about some crap. So I got to be gentle with the words, which, you know, has been a big turnoff. But yeah, man, overall this fast was really good. It was really cool for me. Readjusting back into society and social media and being on a phone and a computer again is still being difficult. It's still difficult for me right now. I'm still wanting a lot of rest and a lot of time to myself. Excuse me. And it's hard to be in a beautiful, peaceful, like wooden hut for a month, connecting with yourself deeply, and then you go back to the real world and there's like horns and masks and chaos and people yelling and smelling like steak cooking on the street when you walk downtown. You know, it's been kind of hard to adjust doing that, but I'm getting used to it. It's all good. It's fine. I'm used to this now. It's my second fast, and yeah, you know, I'm here. A couple things that I'm really looking forward to in the future are taking the brand of Jeff Juices, whatever it is. You know, it's just me sharing my story, whatever. But you know, I'm on Instagram. I got, between my two channels, I got like 70,000 followers, which it's not even about bragging. Like, I could care less about that. It's like, I'm helping people heal themselves, which I never even thought that I would become a health coach. It just so happened that I got passionate about healing myself. And then I would do phone calls every day with people I knew, like friends of friends, like kind of like coaching them through things. And then it kind of just turned into like me doing coaching and me, you know, kind of like selling juicers and being an affiliate person for juicer companies. And it's like, I'm not going to promote brands. I'm not going to promote products. I want people to get healthy. And so I'm going to rep things that make you healthy. I don't promote supplements, or I get tons of emails from companies wanting me to push sea moss and push green powders and these blenders, and it's like, dude, I want to keep it simple. I want to help people. And one thing that I'm really looking forward to, hopefully by this time next year in Asia, I'm going to do my first raw food retreat. And I'd love to do several of those because I thrive talking with people and connecting with people in person. And all the week to month-long things that I've been a part of have been transformational. You know, if you don't have a community of raw vegans that you're around, you live in North Dakota or New York City in the wintertime, you don't know anyone that eats raw vegan, it's hard to feel like you have a community and to feel like this is normal. So I really want to bring people together and help people understand what this lifestyle is about, eating raw food and being conscious and just being a community of people who love health and love feeling healthy and all understand the basic principles of what our human diet was, which in my opinion is a fruit-based diet. So I'm gonna hopefully get my butt in shape, get my head in a great place, and figure out a way to start doing raw food retreats, minimum raw food retreats, and the long-term goal will be to start offering fasting retreats too. You know, that'll just be so cool, man. It's so transformative doing like a couple weeks on juices, like the transformation you get from not eating and going on a solid food vacation, whether it's with juicing or water fasting, is just beautiful. It's amazing. So I want to be the person, you know, I'm like, not even to sound like cocky or cool, it's just like I've learned so much and I have a lot to give and a lot of knowledge and passion to give to people. And yo, when I get in a group setting of 20 people, I'm like, I take over. Just my personality is pretty intense and passionate. And I want to connect other people to me and to each other to find just a beautiful community-like experience over the course of a week or 2 weeks or a month that will change people's lives forever. And I'll send them home feeling confident about being a raw vegan and healing themselves and knowing exactly what to do, how to eat, how to get produce, what to expect, and how to feel comfortable and love themselves unconditionally. Because there's not a lot of love out there, you know. There's just not. There's not a lot of people doing this diet. Tons of people online, but one-on-one in person is hard, you know. I've crafted a beautiful community of raw vegan fruitarians here and connected with a lot of people that come in and out of Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Started a Facebook group called Fruitarians of Playa del Carmen. So people see me on Instagram, they hit me up, they're like, yo, I'm coming to Mexico, would love to meet you. We have big fruit lux of anywhere from 5 to 25 people, I think was our biggest one. And it's cool to be in that setting. You just feel comfortable, and regardless of your differences in life, you just connect. You feel instantly comfortable with your own skin because everyone else gets it. The diet isn't even in question. You just know. You don't have to talk about where to get your protein. Where are you getting B12? You know, where do you get your amino acids? Like, dude, you get it. We already understand we're fruit eaters. So it's a beautiful experience to be around other people with like-minded, you know, outlooks on life. And so I'd love to do that. So that's kind of long-term future. But as for now, I'm just stoked on life. I love everyone. I'm really just tuning in with myself on just a more spiritual level, a lot more than I ever thought I would in the past. And I'm finding unconditional love for myself in many other ways and becoming a lot more grounded when I talk to people. I'm working on my vulgar, profane use of cuss words that I grew up around, kind of grew up in the ghetto playing street basketball with some gangster ass people, you know. And so I'm just really grounding myself a lot more through this spiritual practice of fasting and just trying to go within a lot more, you know, than most people are even comfortable talking about. So yeah, anyway, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. If you got any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll respond. If you got any questions, you want to reach me personally, you want to connect, you want to do a consult or talk about your health, you can just email me directly, jeffjuices@gmail.com. I love working with people. A lot of people are very lost. in what to do to heal themselves. And you know, I'd love to help you if you need help. You know, if not, I have a lot of videos. I have a lot of photos and videos on Instagram for motivation, inspiration. But anyway, long story short, that's my fast number 2. I'm stoked. Hopefully I will get another fast someday under my belt, and I'm going to get myself back to an amazing place. I'm going to concentrate on eating a ton of food, still eating very simple meals, and that's it for now. So I love you all so very much. Thank you for watching this video. I know it's probably long. I can probably talk for 25 more hours if you let me, but just me sitting in my family room at night while my cat is probably sleeping on the counter over there, just blabbing, sharing kind of what I went through. It's nice that you guys can connect with this, and hopefully this information finds you well, and you can take my experience, and if you do decide to fast, you can fast safely and confidently, and know that this is not a dangerous process. Fasting is the oldest way to heal and cleanse yourself. Every species on earth does it when they get sick or injured, and humans aren't any different. We've just lost this art form to a lot of corrupt Western medicine and scientific BS. And so it's an important process, and we need to cherish it and save it and practice it and teach it to our offspring and our kids and our friends and our family, so when they get sick they can know exactly what to do, you know, because it's the lost art form that's, you know, been around since the beginning of time. So anyway, I'm gonna keep talking. So I love you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.